If you're watching this and something in you is recognizing what I'm describing, that quiet voice, the growing distance, the life that looks fine but doesn't feel like yours, I want you to hear this. I was doing everything right, and something inside me kept whispering, "This isn't it. This isn't yours." Great, let me grab a sip of water. I had the job, the title, the stability that everyone around me said I needed, and I was completely miserable. Not dramatically miserable, not falling apart miserable, just persistently, undeniably miserable. The kind of miserable that's easy to ignore because from the outside, everything looks fine. And for a long time, I was very good at ignoring it. I want to tell you something about the path I was on because I think a lot of you will recognize it. It was a path that made sense. It was responsible. It was exactly what you're supposed to do. You get the education, you get the stable job, you build the stable life, and eventually, somewhere in there, you're supposed to feel fulfilled. Nobody tells you that fulfillment doesn't look that way. Nobody tells you that fulfillment doesn't work that way. Nobody tells you that you can do everything right and still feel completely wrong. I was doing everything right, and something inside me kept whispering, "This isn't it. This isn't yours." Not loudly, not dramatically, but persistently. Like a notification you keep swiping away, but it keeps coming back. I got very good at swiping it away. The thing about living someone else's dream is that it doesn't feel like a crisis. It feels like a Tuesday. You wake up, you go through the motions, you do the things you're supposed to do, you come back home, and somewhere in the back of your mind, there's this quiet, constant awareness that the distance between the life you're living and the life you actually want is growing. And you tell yourself it's fine. You tell yourself everyone feels this way. You tell yourself that wanting more is ungrateful or unrealistic or selfish. I told myself all of these things. And then there was a moment, and I remember exactly where I was, where I couldn't tell myself those things anymore. The distance had become too wide, the whisper had become too loud, and I had a choice. I could keep building that life that looked right but felt wrong, or I could answer the call that had been ringing for years. Here's what nobody tells you about choosing intentional living over stability. Stability and fulfillment are not the same thing. And for a long time, actually for most of my adult life, I confused the two. I thought that if I could just build something stable enough, something secure enough, the fulfillment would follow. Like fulfillment was a reward for what you got for being responsible for long enough. But I learned that it doesn't work that way. You can build the most stable life in the world and still feel completely lost in it because stability without intention is just a comfortable cage. And a comfortable cage is still a comfortable cage. The moment I understood that, like really understood it, not just intellectually, but in my body, changed everything. Obviously, not overnight, and obviously not without any fear, but my direction changed. And I noticed that direction is everything. Leaving wasn't the brave part. The brave part was believing I deserved something better. I want to be honest with you about what came after, because I think the way we talk about this kind of decision is often dishonest. It didn't get easier immediately, it got realer. and real is uncomfortable before it becomes worth it. I had to rebuild things. The beliefs I had about what I was allowed to want. The story I had been telling myself about what was possible for someone like me. The identity I had built around a life that wasn't mine. That's the part nobody puts in a highlight reel. But here's what I found on the other side of discomfort. I found that the dream I had been burying for years was still there, completely intact, waiting. Like it knew I'd come back to it. And so I started building one action, one day, one belief at a time. Because that's actually how this works. Not one big leap, not one single brave decision. It's in the small, consistent, intentional choices you make every single day to build a life that is genuinely and truly yours. If you're watching this and something in you is recognizing what I'm describing, that quiet voice, the growing distance, the life that looks fine but doesn't feel like yours, I want you to hear this. That voice isn't your anxiety. That voice isn't you being ungrateful or unrealistic or difficult. That voice is your clarity, and it's been waiting for you to listen to it. You don't have to have the whole plan. You don't have to know what the life you want actually looks like yet. You just have to stop pretending the question isn't there. That's where intentional living starts. Not with a morning routine or a vision board, with honesty. If this is where you are right now, I built something exactly for this moment. It's called the Clarity Quiz. It's 5 questions, it's completely free, and it will tell you exactly where you are, what's been standing in your way, and which steps forward belong to you. The link is in my bio. And if you want to keep building alongside me, I'll see you in the next one.